The technology to save our world is coming. Over the last century, we have turned a corner. We are on the verge of the climate that no longer seeks to destroy us. The mission of Moonhaven isn't simply about solving the crushing problems of our planet. It's about solving us.
Welcome to Moonhaven.
Moonhaven isn't a people. It's a purpose.
It takes a while to get used to this.
I get that this is supposed to be our future, but you and I know darkness finds a way.
Hasn't been a murder here in a long time. Now there are two.
Earth extremists have found a way to get an agent on the moon.
The Earthers will kill us all!
There are Earthers amongst us causing chaos. And your pilot is involved.
Bella helps us.
She's not what she seems to be.
We don't survive in spite of our wounds. We survive because of them.
We, all of us, have been raised to believe in this mission with all of our hearts and minds. If we cannot heal the dark heart of Bella Sway, how can we ever hope to succeed?
I don't know who to trust.
Trust me.
Welcome all. Once again, we're going into just a quick scoop on the latest just movies and TV that's kind of being underseen. We're just going for just the cult of the cult. What is just some stuff that needs a bigger audience? What's some stuff that could improve in the future? What's some others that's not quite cutting the mustard, but we'd like to see a little more of? Or what's others just stuff that we recommend everyone avoid, and which you'll probably end up seeing just because of how WTF it is. Altogether, we're going into just a very bizarre one so far, a 6-episode and recently renewed show that, premiered on 2022. That was for AMC Plus. That's right, AMC, American Movie Classics. They recently decided to do their own premium streaming service that had their own content, as well as premiering some other just indie stuff that, they own Shudder, so they're going to try and experiment with all kinds of things. Altogether, they've just, they've been teaming up with, sister channels, Acorn TV, BBC America, and IFC. And this is their most recent experiment. And of course, it just got me pumped because it's like such an unusual cast. They got Dominic Monaghan, who you might know from Lost and Lord of the Rings. They got Ayelet Zarar from Munich and Adam Resurrected and Angels and Demons. Okay, that's some big names. And then Joe Manganiello, that's right, Magic Mike, and just other bit part actors, even Cardi Hardison from the Cosby Show spinoff, A Different World. He's on here, and just unusual casting, very, all kinds of things. You could, I didn't know what to expect, if it was Farscape, Lex, Doctor Who, or freaking Star Trek. I didn't know what to expect. It's very hard to describe too. I mean, I think Apple TV, Plus has done such a good job with its latest shows, like For All Mankind, C, and Foundation. They've just found their voice being the comedy and sci-fi and horror anthology, premium service. And this is kind of trying to do some of that, and it just doesn't hit the mustard. It's got competent acting. It's got lots of ambition on display. And, I've done plenty of other just goofy shit on here recently. La Brea, at least, is pretty plausible, half entertaining. It's just junky. And, Bad Ben was just a wacky, just, indie filmmaker getting too full of himself, but still you could kind of guffaw at the trashiness. This one, it's not awful, but it's pretty fucking forgettable. It never took off. And then at the same time, it never really, it knows what it wants to do, but it doesn't really have a voice. Yeah, I just feel so muted each time I'm watching it. I'd say probably the issue was that just so many of the writers and actors, they've worked on comedies, and this is trying to be serious. Peter Oko had worked on shows like Dead Like Me, Boston Legal, and Pushing Daisies. Brad Callum Kane was an American singer and songwriter. He wrote an episode, and David Chaffrey is one of the other directors. He's, again, done all kinds of even though he's done serious stuff like Line of Duty, and Peaky Blinders, he's mostly done just kind of comedies and costume dramas. It's just not the exact same what you want in this kind of sci-fi show. Just nothing is very well polished here. I will give it that it does a good job with its own dystopian and just the whole rebuilding a ravaged Earth and just trying to make a colony on the moon with the first generations. But it's just never really just, as Roger Ebert critic Clint Worthington said, it's calamity goop galore. That's pretty harsh, but really, it also just kind of feels confused as to what it wants to do. Like everyone looks like they have almost like a mixed in medieval clothing mixed in with casual kind of hiking and clothes. The costumes are unfortunately just unintentionally silly. Like it just, imagine Buck Rogers mixed with Alien. This is like already confused in tone. Buck Rogers is fun escapism. Alien is gritty, survival. And unfortunately, just people are really hating on the budget and look. I think the budget is fine. Once again, I'm having an issue with just the world building, and it's just not there yet. It wants so badly, people were making comparisons to The Expanse. That's where I even saw some people recommending it or saying this looks similar, and it's not there yet. That's not fair, but you gotta at least acknowledge that it could do something kind of decent with this. Even popcorn apocalyptic shows like The Last Ship will always try and just have an eye-catching establishing shot that lets you fill in the blanks, and this I really don't think is going to be up to much. But I'm counting myself out on this because usually I'm pretty patient. I don't mind a show kind of taking its sweet time to build it up, unless it's just, too much propaganda or dicking around or talking about how amazing it is and then not delivering on so-called amazing stuff it wants to show you. It needed some serious plot twists. Joe Manganiello's character, spoiler, does like some, betrayal, but it's not really a surprise, nor is it interesting. You're just like, okay, so was I supposed to care about that, or was that just to progress the story? So there's not enough organization here, and there's not enough, really any intrigue to just build it up and make you say, hey, I'm stuck to this like glue. I want to come back. I want to see them play around with their elements. Shows don't have to be perfect. They are a visual medium. You can't expect, again, a Dynamite book equivalent in a movie form. And given how we're all trying, got different levels of patience and expectations, it's going to vary by person, but I have yet to anyone say, and note, hey, you should totally seek this out. But yeah, right now I'm putting this on the avoid list, the pass. I don't think it's going to get better. I know it's too early to say, but honestly, you had 6 episodes. Like, no extra amount of episodes, I don't think, would have built this up. That being said, I'm not giving it, the worst of the worst rating. It's a simple 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's just average. It really, it's not like any other show like Blake 7 or even something goofy like Red Dwarf, where you're just like, hey, whatever the hell it was, it played around with its elements until and it was always comfortable doing that. It almost makes me wish they could have tried some other just kind of single 1 or 2 season show and just, owned it. Just said, hey, whatever we do, let's just do this and that. And they really sunk their battleship before they even played a game of Battleship. That's what they fucking did here. They need to really just... I'm sorry, I'm not going to be tuning in for season 2, and I rarely do that. Sometimes I just want lazy TV viewing. Sometimes I can watch something over the top, but it's just meant to be the equivalent of a milkshake or a cheeseburger, like that's been too deep fried, like, the new version of The Equalizer or SWAT or SEAL Team. And it's not even that kind of level. And again, some of the other troubled sci-fi and horror shows that we brought up, even when they suck, you understand why so many actors got attached to it, and they often were just ruined by contradicting plot twists. Mike Flanagan has taken great use of the Netflix formula of just having a 10-part, miniseries event every other year and just, wiping the decks, showing how you can make a truly well-polished narrative. And this, I don't feel like there's too many cooks in the kitchen. If anything, there's not enough cooks in the kitchen. This is so underbaked. This is something that you can put back in the microwave and it's still not going to be heated. That's the kind of show we're looking at here. I know some people are going to mildly check it out because, again, Dominic Monaghan's a pretty cool actor, but it's not a good use of his talent at all. You're going to forget he's in the show half the time because it'll jump around to other bit part actors. And again, nothing wrong with them, but they literally it's a mix between, giving exposition and just not really feeling like they jive in the scene. It's just, I don't know if there just wasn't enough takes or if it really was a tight budget, but there just wasn't anything visually striking, even from a visual effects standpoint. It's not going to intrigue anyone unless you're just very easy to please person. I can't recommend it. So sorry guys, it's a total pass. Not a passing grade, just a pass it on. Just don't bother. Keep on moving. And there's this is the equivalent of a hotel, which you just stop and just go 30 minutes longer. You'll find a way better option with. This isn't a roach infested motel, but think of one with a broken bed and a not working shower. That's the kind of hotel it is. Oh yeah, sorry, I don't want to shit on this anymore, but it's not very intriguing. It's not entertaining, and it could take 5 more seasons. It's not going to do anything interesting with the premise. There's just nothing here. So that is all, folks, and I hope you have fun listening to these reviews solo or with all StarCasts, but we're always keeping it going. We're always keeping the party cranking, and I hope we entertained you.
We'll return after these messages.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
We let things pile up in the DVR, we add them to our queues, we wait for the DVDs and Blu-rays. We time shift. The Time Shifters Podcast. Sci-fi, horror, fantasy, superheroes, comedy, action, film, television, maybe some not-so-current events. Find us on iTunes or at timeshifterspodcast.com.
Cool thing about Blind Knowledge is we are in multiple countries. We are worldwide all across the globe. We are in the US. We are in the UK. We are in Canada, Germany, India, Japan. We're in Australia, y'all. BlindKnowledge.com. Now back to the feature presentation.
Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Naruto, all things that we love, all manga that were originally published in the legendary magazine Weekly Shonen Jump.
But not every series can run for 300 chapters and have a hit anime. This is David.
This is Jordan.
We're the hosts of Shonen Flop. Each episode we look at manga that ran in Jump that didn't quite make it.
We discuss what it did wrong, what it did right, how the series could have turned itself around, and ultimately, was it a flop or not?
We're on all your favorite podcast apps, and you can find us at shonenflop.com.
Keep on flopping, floppers.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up review show.